welcome to another episode of Why Won't You Date Me, a podcast where me, Nicole Byer, was trying to figure out why I was so single, even though you could come on my nightstand and say, that's a sleeping pill. My guest today is a legendary actor, comedian, singer, and improviser. And you know him from Whose Line Is It Anyway?, Let's Make a Deal, and The Wayne Brady Show. He is the host of a brand new podcast called What If?, out now on HeadGum. I'm so excited that he's here today. It's Wayne Brady!
Man, I hope those sound effects translated at home.
They did.
Okay,
and
good.
people listening, they got so excited. Wayne, I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, but I don't know the answer, and I'm going to ask again. Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch? Has that haunted your life?
You know, for a time, for a few years, it was all the time. And it's a double-edged sword like anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you, how cool to have something tied to you.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, sometimes you're like, we can stop that now.
We
Especially
can stop.
when I'm in the bathroom.
I just want to pee and go.
Yeah, I just want to
home.
pee and go. And and if you are going to quote something, which I'm glad that's the only thing that I've really had tied to me where someone has a catchphrase, say it right.
Oh
yeah, like if someone's like, hey Wayne, hey man, does Wayne Brady have to strangle somebody? I was like, well, now you just made it more violent than the
fun time it was.
Right.
Does Wayne Brady gotta kill a nice woman at night trying to jog?
Yeah, she was like, I don't want to do that. She was just trying to enjoy her little jog and be fit. Don't turn me into a murderer. So yes. But how cool to be tied to something that sketch is in the TV and radio museum.
Oh, like the Library of Congress?
As one of the best TV moments.
I mean, it is
in history.
Very funny.
That's ridiculous.
It's very funny.
Yeah, it was very funny.
So, Wayne, I do want to ask, are you single? Are you married? Are you dating?
I'm going to be coy. I'm single.
And I know that you're not on the apps yet.
I'm not on the apps yet.
Do you wish to get on them?
I'm playing with it. I think I have this fantasy of where I go on the apps but I'm too lazy to make the profile.
Mm-hmm.
First off, let's start there.
Okay.
I'm a very industrious person.
Okay.
My folks are from the U.S. Virgin Islands. So, if you know any island people in your life, we are industrious people. Except when it comes to things like social media or paperwork. I can't be bothered. So for me to actually on a app put down, I can't, I'm imagining the work that it would take. Now, I've never seen it, so maybe it's not as much work as I think.
It isn't that much work. It's just you answer some prompts on some apps. Some apps, it's just like, about me. And you're like, I like to do X, Y, and Z. And then you just and then you upload pictures and then you get to swiping.
When you're on my show, we talked about me going on the apps.
Yes.
And you recommended Raya.
Yes.
Which is I guess it's the industry
the
one.
famous person one, the I did a thing one time one. But I don't think you'll get waitlisted. I was waitlisted for, I think it was 2 years, Mars. I don't remember how long it was.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 years. But I don't think you'll get waitlisted.
I think, that someone, not me, but someone from my camp as reached out and started the process. And I believe maybe I've got access. I could be completely wrong. But I'm going to follow up and see.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I kind of feel if I wanted to date an actor, again, because I've dated actors and peers,
yes,
folks that I've done stuff with, and I've dated people who aren't. And maybe you've discovered this in your life. The catch-22 is you date someone who knows what you do because, they get me. But then there are inherent problems. And then you date someone who isn't, and then either they don't get it, or the thing that I've run into in the past is because you have a level of notoriety or name recognition, that person comes built in with assumptions of what it is that you do. And my thing has been meeting someone who it's been cool until they do the thing of oh, you're on TV, and you're like, oh wow, she doesn't have any preconceived notions in it, and then later like, I was playing.
Yes.
I love all your shit, and I like when you do something to make me laugh.
Ooh.
I go, oh. And I've actually had that conversation, and then I've also been told, you know, you're not as much fun as you are on TV.
Ooh.
I go, no, because that's my job. Well, your job is to make me happy. I'm like, oh well, then I quit.
Ooh, I resign.
Take
I
this
put
job
in my
and shove
2
it.
weeks, but I'm leaving today.
Yep.
Ooh, that's tough. I don't think I've had anyone say that I was less fun than I was. I've had people be like, oh, there doesn't seem to be a distinction. Because I'll do dumb shit like put my dog in my pants and be like, look, it's a new baby Bjorn. And they're like, okay. Sometimes they're like, you're weirder than I thought you were going to be.
I love that. Yeah, see, but your weird is endearing weird. And so I think that would be wonderful. I think it's a shock. And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I completely own up to the fact that I am two completely different people off camera, because I just know that about myself. Wayne and ha he he, but then off camera, I'm pretty. I'm not gonna say I hide in the corner and don't turn on the light. Yeah.
You're just in the dark, being like, I'm Wayne.
Leave me alone, my precious. But I do like quiet. I do, and that's just my own thing, the way that I've always been since I was a kid. For me, comedy and acting and being extroverted in that way, even music, that was my outlet of being able to express myself or to get that little thing. And then I get to be Wayne over here, which is why I always wanted to play characters. So that's why it's weird when you become known for, oh, that's Wayne Brady from the thing. And Wayne Brady's a character too.
Yes.
So when I meet someone and you try to date, I kind of have to put the Wayne Brady character on to even meet them and to interact. And then later I'm like, fuck this. Yeah. Here comes the mask. And it's like, I'm going to sit and read my book now.
That does seem exhausting. And I do get it. And I was once dating this guy, this was a while ago. And I come home I was working a job, we were shooting something, and I came home and he was like, how was your day? And I was telling him, and I was like, I'm sorry, this is not interesting. And he's like, you're not here to entertain me. And I was like, ah. And then that just really kind of flipped a little switch. He
said that to you?
Yes. And
that's
I was
sexy as hell.
It was, until it wasn't. It got bad. And I stayed.
Oh, you kept riding the trolley.
I said, let's see where the train's gonna crash. And then, much like in The Fugitive,
you said
I
when.
jumped out.
Not even, that's very telling. When somebody's on the shit, you're like, this is going to crash. Not
this
I
is
wonder
bad. No, I've stayed in relationships where I've dated multiple people where I was like, oh, this person hates me or doesn't like my little quirks. I'm a late person. I'm always late. And I've dated people who would just say snide things when I'd show up 10 minutes late.
Oh, wow, you're here.
Yeah. Huh. I'd be like, yeah, I am here. And they're like, well, I waited a long time. And I'm like, you only waited 10 minutes? I'm sorry. I also told you I was running late. So it's one of those things where we have the opposite thing. I'm a lot and I come on strong. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'll tell you all of my feelings. And a lot of people I've dated are like, I don't want that. I don't want someone who feels as much as you, who's as loud as you. I just don't want it.
See, that's the weird thing about dating, right? And I also guess it depends on which section of your life you're in, the 20s, 30s, 40s, and on, how all that works out. Because when I hear you say that, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and you, even just in knowing you the couple times that we've met, I feel that if you were the person that I know what I'm getting, and maybe you might be different. Maybe you then shut off and you're quiet at home. But if you're like this all the time, I've met that person. So why should I be surprised that you're that person? So 2 months in, why am I yelling at you? I don't understand when people don't accept you.
I don't get it either, but I think it might have to do with like, I think when people are with you, they're like, why aren't you Wayne Brady all the time? Why? And then when people are with me, they're like, why don't you turn off sometimes? Like, why don't I get to see the real Nicole where I'm like, this is it. This is the real Nicole.
But then they should listen to you that if you tell, and isn't that the thing that they say in relationships, that if someone tells you who they are, listen. So if you tell somebody, hey, this is me, that person should get the memo.
Yes, they should. I once said to my boyfriend, I was like, I'm really anxious in relationships. And he looked at me and he said, yes, I know. And I was like, oh, I thought I was being a little mysterious. And I simply wasn't.
Now, that's the person that you're with now?
Yeah.
And how long have you dated?
It's been a minute. It's been over 6 months. And
that's good.
Yeah. It's going well, and he's one of those people who he accepts me for me. Like, once we were in the car and I leased another Jeep and we were driving and I was like, ugh, I just can't listen to Sirius XM because I'll get used to it. And then I'll be mad when my free package goes away. And that's how they rope you in. And then I was just driving along and then he goes, I like when you say things like that. It's nice to know how your brain works.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear that you would have that, because we all deserve that.
Yes.
That thing, that like somebody that gets what it is versus, oh, I really wish you wouldn't say that, because I've been that guy in a relationship. That not like in that way of trying to shit on somebody.
Yeah.
But I know that I've been in a relationship with somebody where at some point I didn't like what was coming across.
Yes.
And I had to be honest, because I didn't like me not liking them, if that makes sense. Because you should be free. You should be free to be you. You don't need me or anybody policing you, because I don't want that.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying to your partner, hey, please don't scream in my ear. Scream all you want. Just turn your mouth that way or whatever. Because sometimes I do scream right in his ear. And he'll be like, hey. And I'm like, sorry, yes, I scream that way now.
But there's a difference between him disliking you screaming in his ear and you screaming in general.
Yes.
That if he was just like, whether it's in my ear or whether it's over there, will you please stop? That's a problem.
That is a problem, because that means you fundamentally don't like me as a person.
Right.
And I think in dating, we tend to just be like, whether the person's like famous or whatever, it's like, I guess I'll just try to change them so they become this person that I want. And that's not okay.
No.
I've had people try to change me. I've tried to change people. Just by being like, hey, I looked this up. Why don't you do that? You were talking about it. I did the work for you. You know, here, you could try this. Like, you want to go to the gym? I found a gym that like fits your criteria. It's in walking. And it's like, nobody wants that. Like, they want to do things on their own. They just want to be in a partnership.
Say they want something like that, but at the end of the day, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But you have children, right?
I have two kids. One is my daughter Miley, who is 22, and she's amazing, beautifully talented writer, singer, dancer, blah, blah, blah. And I have a 2-year-old.
A 2-year-old?
A 2-year-old named Val.
You started right over.
I did.
What's that like having you said 22?
A 22-year-old
and then a 2-year-old. That's wild.
It is. It is different energy. I'm definitely a different person at my age now than I was at 30 when Miley was born. So chasing around after a 2-year-old, you know, I can keep up, but I don't want to.
It's like you get over there, then you'll come back eventually.
It's like, oh, look, Daddy's chasing you. Run
away. I'm gonna rest my eyes. Oh, Lord.
Daddy's resting now. Daddy's resting. It's interesting, but I love being a father. So even in dating, even in dating now, I'm not, because my criteria has changed.
What is your criteria?
I don't even know exactly anymore.
Okay.
That's even the thing. And I don't even really know if I want to date.
Okay.
I kind of feel that maybe I need to be open to it. I am single, and then you end up having the talks with yourself where you're like, oh, I'm getting older and I don't know if anybody wants me, and I'll just sit here in my rocking chair and be alone and isolate and play Xbox in my boxer shorts. But I like playing Xbox in my boxer shorts.
Yeah.
I like being so I don't know. I'm trying to be open to it because I'm trying to be more open to life and love and, all that good stuff. So I think my criteria now would be somebody who, like we were talking, somebody who accepts my life. Mm-hmm. They'd have to be open to knowing that my schedule is what it is. I happen to be very lucky that I'm very busy. They have to be open to the fact that when I'm not busy, I need time for myself. They have to be open that I have a very, very tightly knit family that they can see on my show that's on Hulu called Wayne Brady, The Family Remix, the reality show about my family. My ex-wife, Mandy, is my best friend. Her partner, Jason, is like my brother. Mm-hmm. They've got a kid named Sonny.
How did that, was it a natural evolution from being romantic partners to then being like, you're my best friend? And was it an amicable breakup? Was it the two of you being like, yeah, this just isn't working?
Kind of the whole thing. We met and we were fast friends. Mm-hmm. And we moved out to LA together. We had a goal. So when you meet someone and the two of you just vibe on the creative thing of, we're going to move to LA to do this together. When we moved out, she wanted to dance and she became a professional dancer and model. And I wanted to act and I was auditioning and acting and singing, dancing, the whole nine. And so we came out as a unified front. And then that became more romantic and we fell in love. And then we reached a point where after we had our child, we were not meant to be together. And talk about the train. I never pictured being on a train that was going to go off the bridges and explode. And I didn't know how to get off that train because I had it drilled into my head. If you get married, and this is it, and especially around the time that I started to take off a little bit, everyone was like, oh, Wayne's got a perfect relationship and da-da-da. And I didn't want to fail. And I think we get trapped in relationships, or we may trap other people sometimes.
Yes.
Because if I let you go, then I failed.
Yeah.
And I'm bad and all the things. This is coming from years of therapy. All of those things that you may hear as a child or that you take in, I didn't want to fail. So if I would have actually used better sense and been more empathic and loving, I probably should have tried to get a divorce earlier rather than
ride it out,
stay in this,
stick it out
with me, and make your life miserable and make me miserable, so I make your life more miserable, and we got a kid and that. So after we sorted that out, there was always love. And then we said, no matter what, we're going to be family because we're going to do this. As opposed to some people say, let's be friends or let's stick this out for the child. We said, we're going to do this because we need to keep our relationship. And she will prosper if we are on the same page. And shout out to Mandy. She is the reason that we stayed friends. She did a lot of the grunt work and put up with me, and a lot of me needing a lot of therapy and to talk things out and to try to develop and really mature and grow up and do a lot of the parenting work that I didn't have as a kid. I needed to parent myself and change the way that I did things, and it paid off. We are still a team.
I love that. I think that's really great because I feel like sometimes people end relationships and they're like, I fucking hate that person. And it's like, but there was love there at one point. And especially if you have to co-parent, but like just in general, I never want to break up with somebody and then be like, I wish them ill will. Like I always want to be like, I loved you. I wish you the best, but like this didn't work out. So I like to hear that, like, you know, that worked out for you guys. So you were telling me before we started recording that you started musical theater to get the chicks, to get the booty.
You know, to get the honeys. To get that. What was I saying? Come on now. Yeah,
When did you start musical theater? And you had a stutter, and then on stage, it went away?
Yeah. And this is where that other Wayne that's off stage. I've always been an introverted little kid. I was always very shy and leery of things and didn't want to engage. I knew that I was very different, or I felt that I was very different from a lot of the kids in my neighborhood and the things that I wanted or I liked. And my folks, like I said, were from the Virgin Islands and raised me, so they had very strong accents. So I had this accent when I was a kid. And I think because of anxiety, I had a really bad stutter. So that made me not want to communicate even more. So yeah, when you open your mouth and you try to say something and it gets laughed at, and you try to do something, you get laughed at or you have to fight. And I was in constant fights all the time because in my household, I couldn't. It's like, when you beat her ass if she hits you. So I have to go back outside and fight. If this kid, like,
I was told to beat her ass.
I was told to fight you. I'm not gonna. So always fighting and just. So I always had all this.
Like tension.
Tension. I always had that. So it wasn't until, and I knew that I could sing and dance and act because I would do it in my room. And I had this tape recorder that my dad got me, and I would read books. I read everything, and I would do all the voices. So I'd record myself doing voices, singing songs, but I kept it to myself until
I would also do that.
Right.
And when I played it, I'd be like, "So I can't sing?" Like it was like I would sing, and I'd be like, "I'm killing it," and then listen back and be like, "Well, that's not her. That's not me."
You've had early discernment.
Truly.
You're like, oh no.
That's not good. Sorry. So you knew you could sing and you could dance.
But I kept it to myself for a long time. And it wasn't until I was like 16 and I had to take speech and debate to fulfill one of the art requirements. And I was in ROTC. And even being in ROTC was cool for me because it helped me have something in common with my dad, because my dad was in the Army and he was like the epitome of G.I. Joe. And I wanted to try to fit in with him. And in my mind, it wasn't a uniform. It's a costume. I'm on stage. And I love the marching. I used to love it. This sounds so funny. I would march like left, righty, left. I was like, oh shit. Look at me march. Look at me march. My hands are swinging. My hands are swinging.
So funny.
That's
exactly how I would be if I had to wear like army fatigues. I'd be like, yes, you can't see me.
You are playing a role. I used to sing in my head like the soundtrack as we're marching was like, marching. So I loved that. But then I really wanted to be in theater and I got thrown into this class and my life changed. It was like one of those after school special moments. I was like, I'm in the theater class. And then I met this girl, Sandy, who they were having auditions for Oklahoma. And I thought that Sandy was so nice and so pretty and but she was the star of the chorus and she sang. I said, oh, I've got to get in that show. And I was asked, do you sing? I'd never sung a lick in front of anybody and went, yes, because my grandmother had all these records and she used to play West Side Story. So I sang Maria and I got one of the leads in Oklahoma. And I did end up being Sandy's boyfriend, but the best part of the thing was I went, oh, I guess I can do this.
I love when people stumble into a passion. It's
Oh, yeah.
so fun.
It's
But also very
great.
Billy Elliot of you to just like be in your room dancing and singing. I got into this like Instagram hole where I was watching this woman. She was wearing LaDuca shoes. It's a dance shoe.
Yes, of course. I know the Dukas. Yeah.
And she was talking about her like limited edition LaDucas. And then I was like, well, let me look at the rest of her page. And then she does like, I guess she calls it Broadway jazz dancing. And she's like, it's a dying art form. And I was like, it is. And I was like, how do we get this to the masses? How do we get people to put on LaDucas and do Fosse?
She's like, bah.
Yes. I mean, if I had any sort of rhythm, I would take a Broadway jazz class. I love musical theater. I cannot sing. I cannot dance. But I can be an ornery old lady who's like, "Ha, what's up with those kids today?" Which is what I did in Bye Bye Birdie.
That's the other musical that I was in high school.
Oh, really? Were you Conrad Birdie?
No, it was Albert Peterson.
Oh, okay.
Who were you?
I was just in the chorus.
You're one of the parents?
I'm one of the parents.
What's the matter with kids today?
Okay, so there is a tape that is in my house of me and Godspell where I sang Turn Back, Oh Man. And I'm 17 years old. I have a red feather. Have I talked about this?
No.
I have a red feather boa. I sat on somebody's dad's lap and leaned back and sang, "Turn back, oh man, forswear thy foolish," and then was like shaking my fucking little titties
on this dad,
and people loved it.
And a star is born, ladies and gentlemen.
And I never sang publicly again.
Well, you went out on top. That's how you have to look at it. You went out on top.
God, I have such a special place in my heart for God. Have you ever been in Godspell?
No, I've seen it a couple times.
Day by day.
In fact, the last time that I saw Godspell, that cast was amazing. It was the Broadway cast where I'm going to butcher her name. So instead, I'll say the show that she's from and you know who I'm talking about. Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Crazy Eyes.
Yes. Adubo? Adubo is, I'm not sure about her last name.
Her.
Yes.
I saw her in the cast. And my buddy Telly, who I ended up doing Rent with at the Hollywood Bowl, who played Angel, and a bunch of other stars. But
Were you Collins in Rent? Yeah. Live in my hell. I tried learning that song.
I love that song.
I tried so hard to learn that song. I love it. It's so good.
So you like the reprise or you like the first one?
Oh, the reprise. Come on.
The
reprise is so bone chilling, and every time I've ever seen it live, I weep, openly weep.
It's the thing.
It's great.
It's the thing. And even the way that when you talk about musical theater, you're watching something, that's that spark, which is why I think I told you once that I feel like I have no game. Mm-hmm. So I would just let my talent be my game. So that's why it was easier for me to meet somebody if I was in a show.
Yes.
So I didn't have to do a lot of the socially awkward work.
The show does the heavy
talking
lifting.
Talking to someone's like, "Hi, I'm Wayne. I like video games. Have you played video games?"
Wait, what's your favorite video game?
Right now on my Oculus. I'm in VR.
Mars just gasped.
I love VR.
Did I hear a gasp of the Oculus?
She does Beat Saber.
Yeah.
I love Beat Saber.
Beat Saber's great.
We should play Beat Saber together.
Oh, I'd love to bring it into the studio sometime.
That's because you can play with your friends online.
I'm not a video game connoisseur.
Oh my gosh.
I've only played Aladdin, Sonic, and Donkey Kong.
Oh, those are the old school games.
When I was a kid, I would play.
See, I like playing the things now. Like I like VR, or I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the zombie mode. I play Fortnite, but I've stopped playing some of those multiplayer games because I realized that at my age, I don't need to be angry with some little kid in Iowa who decides to break out the N-word.
That's wild to me.
I went on a kill streak.
It's wild that people are like, that's where I'm going to say it. on a video game where we're all having a nice time.
And that's the fact that that's the word that goes, boop, it's like slots. It just goes into a little slot. It's like, why did you have that primed?
It's interesting. America's a really interesting place.
And sometimes the excuse is, well, I didn't even know that person was black. I just said, it's like, why did you have that word primed?
Why is it in the chamber?
Why is it in the chamber?
It's because of internalized racism that our country refuses to acknowledge. And on that note, we have to take a break.
Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Can we take a moment to talk about underwear? Because I've got some thoughts. You see, okay, bras usually drive me up the wall. They're tight in weird places. The straps slip. The fabric's all scratchy. And by the end of the day, I'm like ripping it off. But I finally tried the Fits Everybody bralette from Skims, and it's actually good. Like really, really good. You see, I got itty bitty little titties, so I am very picky about bralettes. Most of them either do nothing or they feel like overkill. But this one, the band is supportive without feeling stiff. The fabric, it's buttery soft, and it feels like it was made just for me. I forget that I'm even wearing it, which has never happened with a bra before. I've worn it under tees, lounging at home, even recording this podcast. So if you're tired of uncomfortable bras, give Skims a try. Shop Skims Fits Everybody collection at skims.com and in Skims stores. It is available in sizes from extra, extra small to 4XL. After you place an order, be sure to tell them that I sent you. Select podcast in the survey and make sure to select my show in the drop-down menu that follows. Now, go get yourself a bra that actually fits you. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. If you've got something you've been thinking about putting online, whether it's a business, a portfolio, or your side hustle that you want to pop off, Squarespace makes it super easy to actually do it. It's the all-in-one platform where you can build a beautiful website of your dreams. One of the best things about Squarespace is they make designing your dream website so easy, just by providing some basic information about your industry, goals, and personality. Squarespace will generate you some premium and personalized design recommendations. Plus, their templates are super easy to use. You just drag and drop whatever your website needs. It really lets your personality show, even if you don't know anything about design. And if you're offering services or selling something, Squarespace has built-in tools to get you paid fast and stay organized. I'm talking invoices, online payments, schedules, no appointment scheduling. It's all baked in and easy to use. So if you've been thinking, maybe I should finally make that website, this is your sign. Go to squarespace.com/dateme for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code DATEME to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And we're back. What is one of your favorite musical theater parts that you've gotten to play?
Without a doubt, Lola in Kinky Boots.
Kinky Boots is such a fun, vibrant show. It is. Did you do your own makeup? Like, do you?
Oh no.
You did it on Broadway, right?
Mm-hmm. And here, but I was the second one. I replaced Billy Porter, so I got to, like, it was still a fresh role. They let you. Now I could do my own makeup ish.
Yeah,
but they hire amazing makeup artists to be able to achieve a very specific look. And and what's weird is, like, doing Kinky Boots, talk about letting the talent do the work.
Yeah.
They were, oh my God.
It's a strenuous show.
Even doing that show though, I'm 6 foot in heels, I'm 6'4", singing and dancing on stage in a British accent, doing all this stuff. The so many DMs in my inbox, women just like, I just saw you on stage as Lola. I'm gonna get you out them tights. Take off that wig. Let me snatch that wig off, bitch. Let me get that red dress off. It's like, oh no. That's so
funny. But also very indicative of, like, a woman being like, this man makes me feel so safe. I don't care what the fuck he's wearing. I'm gonna rip it off.
Right.
Ooh, I'm gonna have my way.
I'm gonna have my way with that safe man.
What was it like learning how to dance in heels?
It was amazing. It gave me so much respect, which I already had respect for female performers and for women at large, in terms of when, like you were saying, when you dated someone, they're like, you're late. Look, the amount of work that women feel sometimes that they have to put in for the male gaze and to be ready for us to go out on a cute little date and you want to put on your heels. Oh, I've got these great little Louis Vuittons and my little red bottoms and good for you. Be a little late sometimes. Learning to walk, not even dance. Learning to walk and even the baby heels. It's a different set of muscles. Yep. From having to arch because I've got a flat foot, thanks, Dad. My arch was all messed up. My heels were always engaged. My thighs, my IT bands were going, what the fuck are you doing? Everything, it hurt. In fact, it hurt so much. After the first day of rehearsal, I flew to New York. I knew all the music, and I'm rehearsing. And then they go, oh, you're such a quick study because they taught me the first number, Land of Lola. I learned to dance, killing it. Great. Let's put on the rehearsal heels and try it. Okay, let's try. We rehearsed for 4 hours.
Oh my God.
I went back to my hotel room, took my feet off, and my feet were like this.
Just pulsing.
Just pulsing. You could see it. And I picked up the phone and I called my agent. I said, hey, Kevin, I don't think I can do this. And it really hurts me because I love the show, but I think I have to go home.
I think I have to go home. Not only can I not do the show, I have to leave the state.
I think I have to leave the state.
I gotta go.
I have to get on a plane to go back to my place of residence. And I've never done that. But I honestly couldn't see past the pain. At this moment, I was like, how? You tell me how I'm going to do this. And luckily, ice, and I stuck it through. But kudos to women. Kudos to Beyonce. Kudos to Beyonce.
It's
Sexy enough splits.
Wild.
Jump, boop, boop, boop.
Wild whenever I see shit like that. I wish I had that. But again, I don't have the rhythm.
But it's nuts because in those heels, and I've always said this in interviews, I've never felt like more of a man than when I was in those heels and I'm in a dress and wig, the whole thing, but powerful. I felt super powerful, very empowered.
I think
it was really cool.
I think men should don a wig and heels and then just like feel pretty.
Well, here's the thing. Did you know, Nicole, that it's so funny how the masculinity, everybody's like, guys won't even carry, wait, where's mine?
Over there.
Guys won't even carry, like a bag like this. They call it a man.
A merce.
A man bag. You got to pull all this man. It's a man. This is yes, it's a satchel, but it's a purse. Men, in the days of yore, men had purses.
Yes.
There were bags. That's just was the literal word for it. Purses.
Yes.
Men, royalty wore high heels. To keep
they
them
wore wigs
out of the shit that lined the streets of Paris and London. Men wore the high heels and women because that was a sign of I didn't have to walk in all the offal and all the shit. Men wore wigs. We wore things to adorn ourselves. At some point.
Yeah, I don't know when the transition happened where it was like
Wild
West.
West.
I don't know, like looking in the 80s, men in short shorts and crop tops. And I'm like, why did that leave? Why?
George Michael and all these dudes dancing.
Why? I wish we allowed men or gave men the room to experiment with style or like also just carrying a bag, a purse. You could put all your things in it and then your pockets are free.
And then you don't have that ugly ass wallet bulge.
Yes.
That's the thing is the conflation of masculinity and what you wear and how you talk and you not being able to dress a certain way, or if I say a certain word, pause, because that's all of that is so harmful, and that's why sometimes bringing it right back around to dating and everything that I'm trying. When you meet people, it's sometimes hard to have even those first date conversations because people have such weird ideas of masculinity that people will say wild things to each other.
Yes.
And that's now you even have to watch out who you talk to because you don't know if they'll have some wild views on sexuality or on life Or, oh my God, I'm so glad because that's so gay. Like, oh no, I can't be your friend. You hate the people I like.
Yes.
Oh no.
There was this tweet that killed me. It was just like, fellas, is it gay to sit next to your friend in a movie theater? And I was like, and it was like a full earnest tweet. And they're like, well, if there's nobody else in the theater, you got to leave a seat between you and your friend. I was like, what is happening? What is happening?
The only way that question has any merit is if it is a gay movie theater in the late 80s in Santa Monica called the Donkey Hutch. Then the answer is yes, it's gay.
That's pretty
That's
gay.
really gay. Not if it's a Cinemark. No.
I also think like sexuality is just so fluid. I refuse to label myself. I don't use the queer label because I feel like I usually talk about dating men. So I'm like, I don't want to take up space there. But I'm like, I would date a woman. I dated trans. I'd date any old person because I would never close the door to love. And I think
Hearts, not parts.
Yes, hearts, not parts. I've never heard that before.
Hearts, not parts.
Mars, have you heard that before?
No, that's great.
That's new. That's new to us. Somebody in the comments is going to be like, that's not fucking new. And I'm going to be like, chill out.
It's been around since 1873 when Ezekiah Brown first fell in love.
So wait, you're the son of immigrants. And did they ever put pressure on you to date?
No. In fact, in a household like mine, which is dangerous, I think it's a lot of Black households. I mean, we didn't talk about sex.
Mm-hmm.
So what you don't talk about, you find out about in the streets. And you can't trust, if you're 10, you can't trust a 12-year-old to tell you the ins and outs of sex. No, that shouldn't happen. So we didn't talk about sex. We didn't talk about dating. The only thing is I remember my grandmother, don't you bring no girl in this house and have a baby. That was it.
That's it. Those are the okay. So I can't bring this bitch home and I can't put a baby in her?
So
don't even know how.
No, dude.
Joke's on you, granny.
Haha, I'm putting it in every hole and maybe I'll get lucky.
I mean, my mom, she did an okay job. But my grandpa recently said to me, he was like, wow, guess the family name dies here. And I was like, okay. Okay. You don't have to put it like that.
Was it I'm joking?
No, it was pretty serious. And it was like, yeah, he was looking at my aunt and my uncle and he was like, none of y'all are going to have a baby. So the family name dies here. And I was like, okay, Grandpa, you don't have to be so upset about it. You could just chill out. Also, it's okay if our family name dies. There's a bunch of Byers in Barbados. They can carry it on for us.
That is hilarious.
We don't know what they're doing over there.
That's where your folks are from?
That's where my dad's side of the family is from Barbados.
Wow, okay.
Yes. Island people.
Love that. See, I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you.
And I went back. I took my grandpa there a couple years ago. And I was like, why haven't you brought me here? It's so beautiful. Barbados is so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
And I was like, maybe I'll find a man here. And then I did, and I had to come back here.
Wait, you did find a man there?
No. I had to come back to the States to find one.
Well, that was meant.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant.
It was meant to be. Do you remember your first kiss or your first girlfriend?
Yes.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
Trying to remember did I have a kiss or was it the puppy love thing? Oh, yeah, my first kiss. I think my first kiss was with Sandy. I think my first kiss was with Sandy in junior year.
Love that your first girlfriend is Sandy that you met in musical theater just because of Grease.
Sandy. Hey, Sandy. Yeah, Sandy was my first kiss, whose father was incredibly racist.
Oh, no.
Because, Sandy was white. And I'd had a girlfriend, like when you're young, you like I'm going with or whatnot. So I'd gone with people, but I'd never had a kiss. So I think I really never had a first kiss until high school. Yeah, and her dad was racist.
Did he say things to you?
Oh, he said many things to me.
Yikes.
But yeah, like at one point, it's cool. And all this is prefaced by saying I was raised in Orlando, Florida. So I was raised in Florida. So yeah, let that be what it is.
Florida's tough.
So it's always cool when somebody likes when when a parent of somebody, whether they're a friend or whatever, is like, oh, great kid, come on over, da da da. But then as soon as you express some interest or something happens, then they're like, not in my house.
Yup.
Not you.
And it's like, wait, I thought you liked me. You made me dinner. You said I could stay for dinner. What? You don't like me?
Yeah. You taught me a lot very early about negotiating people in life and race and relationships and all that stuff.
Which is tough. But I feel like Black people have to learn that much earlier than our white counterparts.
Absolutely. Which it's not even I don't even think it's a bad thing at this point. I think knowledge is knowledge.
Yes.
So learn. It's like, oh, that happened. So that means that's an issue. So I have to navigate the world like this. Bingo. Got you. Thank you for teaching me.
Yeah. And it is always interesting to me when people are like, oh, it's always about race. And I'm like, kind of. From a very early age, my race has been a thing I've known about.
There you go, playing the race card.
And it's like, my name is literally Nicole because it's a white-sounding name. On paper, my name looks white. And that was that was a strategy that my parents had, which is unhinged if you really think about it.
Oh, yeah.
From before I was born, my race was a thing I had to think about or my parents thought about.
That is a part of who we are. And that's why it's so funny that when those conversations do come up and someone says, oh, it's always about, oh, why does it have to be about race? Why can't we all just, well, yes, Pollyanna, that would be amazing.
It would be ideal.
If we didn't. But on the flip side, I think the conversation is also, you know what? It's not bad that race enters the conversation sometimes because race is so wrapped up in culture. It's like I love being Black, and if Black conversations happen, we can have a Black conversation. Someone can have a Latin conversation, an Asian conversation. The difference is, don't hate me because of the Black conversation or treat me differently because of it. That's the thing. Or tell me who I can and cannot love, which it damn sure seems that we're getting pretty close to in this friggin' time machine that we're in right now.
It is.
The Wayback Machine that we've been strapped into.
Not to bring politics into it, but the whole Make America Great Again, just hear me out. How come it's not Make America Better? Why go back?
That part.
Why not go forward? Why look back?
Make America Great Again.
Make it better. Make it better than it's been.
Which I know a lot of people, we have touched on this and said the same thing. It's maybe I missed something, but within my span of life, life's been cool, and thank God. Like I always tell my daughter, I said, Miley, you know how lucky, because I was born in 1972. Just outside of that, we weren't allowed to be in the same schools as somebody. Just outside of that, if you even loving, dating, talking to somebody of another race, not that it was frowned upon, that shit would get you killed. Just outside of that.
Yeah.
So I get that my generation, we are the luckiest that to be born there and to be raised here and to reap the benefits of, hey, we're on TV or we can be successful or whatnot. But still, to answer that question, I don't know about great again.
Yeah.
I think that it was great to certain people who may have had certain advantages over other people. So yeah, let's make it better where there are no advantages.
Yes.
Where we're all doing our thing.
Yeah, we all start at zero.
We're all doing it.
Doesn't happen. I have aunts who are still alive who can tell me stories about segregated movie theaters where they would spit on the people who were allowed to sit in the orchestra or whatever while they were in the balcony. And I'm like, that's wild to say make it great again when they have memories of that. Anyway, off of that, you said you grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
And you worked at Universal or you worked at Disney?
Both.
Oh, who did you play at Disney?
At Disney, my very first job, which I put those marching skills into play. My very first job at Disney, I was a toy soldier in the sparkling Christmas spectacular.
Ooh.
So I was a marching, and I was like, I'm gonna pop, I'm gonna pow. You'll see all that shit. And then I was Goofy, and I was Tigger, and I did that because my whole aim was I wanted to be a kid of the kingdom, which are the singer dancers.
Oh, a face.
Yes. Well, not a face character. Actually, one of the singer dancers called a Kid of the Kingdom. I didn't know if we had them out here at Disneyland, but they were on the main stage and they danced beautifully and did all the choreography and they sang. I was like, I want to be one of those singers. So I've got to get into Disney somehow. So I got in being a character. And that was my whole thing is I was like, I am going to be a singer at Disney. That's what I'm going to do.
Did you do it?
Almost. Because I was fired.
Why were you fired?
Quick story. I auditioned for one of my dreams was to be the lead singer in a show called Rap and Roll.
Mm-hmm.
There was one male singer and the rest of them were characters. But when I saw it, I was like, that's my show. That's my shit. I can do this. I auditioned for it. I got it. I was so excited. I told everybody, I'm leaving the character department. I'm going to train into the show, blah, 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 blah. That was like on let's call it a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday was my last shift as a character. But Saturday, a buddy of mine named Chris, and yeah, I'm going to say who he is. I've told the story. Chris Judd. Now, if you know who Chris Judd is an amazing choreographer, dancer, but some people may know him. He is one of the ex-husbands
of Jennifer
Lopez.
Oh, I know.
So we were best buddies. Like when I worked at Disney for 2 years, Chris Judd was my best friend. Mm-hmm. He still is one of the most amazing guys. I don't get a chance to talk to him, but that was my dude. And I've never even spoken to Chris really about this. One day I've got to talk to him because so Chris, handsome ass dude, especially at the time. He had his hair and da-da-da. Chris got hired as a character, but he was never really feeling the character thing. So he got called in to do a character shift. Wayne, can you do me a favor? I really don't want to do this character shift. Blah, 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 blah. Chris had been dancing at this point. He learned to dance and big things were going to happen for him. He really didn't want to go and do the character thing. I wanted to pick up an extra shift with some money. I was like, sure, I'll go in and do your shift for you. What are you doing? They've got me scheduled. I'm doing Pluto. Oh, well, I don't do Pluto, but I'll see if they need a goofy hot. Yeah, man, I got you. I'll do this for you. It's the last thing that I'm going to do because on Monday, I start rehearsal for Rap and Roll. This story is the equivalent of if I would have been on the police force and I'm going, oh, man, I've been a police captain for 45 years. I'm hanging up the shield on Friday. Hey, Sarge, you mind covering me on Friday? Oh, you know myself and Miranda, we are scheduled to go to Cabo San Lucas. We haven't had a vacation together in 25 years. All right, young blood, I'll cover you just this one time. What can happen? And then I get shot.
Oh, no.
That's what happened to me.
You got shot at Disney.
I got shot at Disney. I show up, I'm Goofy. No, I'm Tigger.
You're Tigger.
I'm doing my Tigger set. I'll never forget it. I'm in front of the bank. Hey, shaking kids' hands, doing the whole thing. Blah, blah, blah. The clock is ticking. I'm looking upside. Almost finished. Last show, last shift before I go do Rap and Roll. Oh, shit. A lady comes to the front of the line with her little cat. She looks very important. She's like, excuse me. Places her kid in front. Now, as we all know, characters don't talk. That's the magic.
Yes.
So this lady, there's a line. She puts little Timmy in front. I was like, oh. So I, using the improv skills that I've honed at Disney, I'm communicating to her, it's Tigger. Look at this line. Woo-hoo-hoo. Bell kick. She's like, no, Tigger. You was, and I'm like, woo-hoo-hoo. And I'm counting. I'm like, she puts Timmy in front. And so now I'm like, shaking the big. So picture all this movement as Tigger. Big old head, just like, She's like, Tigger. And she grabs Tigger and pulls him a little closer. And it's like, because people get handsy with characters.
Yeah, yes.
She goes, Tigger, I I am very, and now I'm going to paraphrase what she said. It's like, Tigger, I think you need to see my son. We are in a rush. You do not know I am very important here. I blah, blah, blah. I was like, I go to move her. Again, you will find, and then she just goes off on me and says some shit about, you will find out, I will deal with you. And so I look to whoever, that they're called character leads.
Uh-huh.
The person that's responsible for handling. So this lady's, and I look over, I'm like, so you got to move this person. Now, also keep in mind, I am 19. I'm 19 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm 18, turning 19.
Uh-huh.
So she's yelling at
An adult
kid.
is yelling at a child.
This adult is yelling at this
But
teenage
also,
kid.
This adult woman is yelling at Tigger.
Is yelling at Tigger. Woman, you are yelling. You're yelling at Tigger. So then I turn my back to. That's the thing that really got her. She's blah 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 blah. I turn my back to her.
Mm-hmm.
Her child decides Tigger's tail is a piece, at that time, it was a belt, like a military belt wrapped around your midsection, connected to a piece of PVC pipe. PVC, it looks soft.
Yes.
That shit is PVC.
Yes.
Kid grabs onto the back and decides to pull my tail. I grab the tail. I was like, so I grabbed the tail and I let it go.
Uh-huh.
Ow! I did not hit the kid.
Uh-huh.
Was not intending to hit the child. That he pulled the tail back. I grabbed the tail so that it wouldn't hit someone else. And I can't see.
Yes, you're wearing a huge
All I can
head.
see is this.
Uh-huh.
So all this happened over here. When I turn, so I grab my tail and I turn and I feel, but I don't know what happened. So I turn my back to her. That's the part of you will see, blah, 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 blah. Girl, I'm Tigger. And what's happening Monday? I'm in Rap and Roll.
Uh-huh.
I finished the character set. Wayne, you've been called to the character supervisor's office.
Uh-huh.
Why? They must want to commend me. They must want to commend me on how
I handled that
amazing,
bitch.
because I am, in my mind, now I got to tell you, I was one of the best. I will wear that shit today. I was one of the best characters that Disney had seen up to that point. I was animated. I would break dance. I did that. I killed it. So I was like, oh, surely, are they giving me an award?
Are they gonna commend me?
Are they gonna commend me? I didn't know.
Am I Walt Disney?
Am I the next one? Is this like Willy Wonka and they're giving me?
Am I Wayne Disney?
Am I Wayne Disney all of a sudden? No commendation for me. It turns out she was a supervisor, a character supervisor, who she brought her son into the park. She wanted Tigger to, and I did this to her too, because she claimed, because when she was, I was like, I did this. And I pointed, I was like, these people.
Yeah, have been waiting.
Have been waiting in line. No, you have to go back. No, sorry.
She should have whispered to you, I am the character supervisor, or said something to the handler.
And even if she did, here is the thing. And this is, even if she would have gone, my last name is Disney. You need to let me in front.
No, these people have been waiting.
It's Florida. It is friggin' 2,000 degrees. And
Did they
these
have fans in the little costumes, or were you just dying?
I think in the newer models in the generation since I've been there, back in the day, no fans.
Oh my God.
None. So if I'm hot, these kids are hot. I loved doing that job so much. I always had this big ass smile on my face, and the kids. So I'm being berated by another supervisor. Do you know what you just did? Blah, 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 blah. She brought her son. So now you are being written up, and we're going to do an investigation because of your insubordination. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. At first it was like a parent. Do you know that a parent came and they said that you were looking at your watch, you told them to leave, you were rude, and then you turned around and you hit them with your tail on purpose, and you were da-da-da-da-da, and so we're going to do an investigation. It's like, no, that's not what happened at all. That's not what it. Then I find out, because at first I said a parent, then I find out And they were a supervisor. So I said, oh, the person works here?
Uh-huh.
Yes. And you were rude to her child. And you were rude to her. And it was his birthday, and you could have handled it differently. And all I remember, my little teenage ass, as I'm being told that I was suspended, which suspended at that point was code for, now you're done.
You're fired.
No, you're fired. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, but, oh.
Wait, they yelled at you while you were half in costume?
Okay. So I've still got the skin tight fur on. Do I get to do rap and roll?
Oh.
That sentence, do I still get to do rap and roll? No. No. You're suspended.
Oh.
Fucking Chris Judd.
Chris Judd did it to you.
Chris Judd.
If you hadn't taken that shift.
If I hadn't taken that shift, but
it's a blessing in disguise. You could still be there right now.
Come on now, Jesus.
Not to be rude, not shitting on anybody who works at Disney, but you were destined to do something else.
But everybody's destiny is different. I've got friends who I grew up with them. They are still at Disney in managerial spots now and doing other things. They love that life. They have a home in Celebration, beautiful home, and they have a life. That
wasn't for you.
That wasn't for me. And so everything happened the way that it was supposed to. And I learned a lesson. I learned a valuable lesson about how, expectations and all these things. And so thanks, Chris. And then because I got fired from that job, then I ended up getting hired at Universal Studios, doing a bunch of, I was a Ghostbuster, and I did the Beetlejuice Rock and Roll show, and I was a percussionist, and I was a break dancer. I did all these things. I learned all these valuable skills doing theme park shows and theater that ended up giving me an improv mindset, and that's how I got on TV.
I love that. I love a story that, it could have gone a different way where you could have been like, well, I guess that's it for me. I don't perform anymore. That fucking bitch. But then it was like, no, there's another theme park here. I will work it the fuck out.
There were multiple theme parks. Shit, if I had to, I would go and be Black Shamu. I'd put on a Shamu outfit at SeaWorld.
Wow, Shamu is a man?
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I am. God, Wayne, I love that. I really do love that story. I was let go from Lane Bryant, a fat woman's clothing store.
Why?
And that was a huge blessing in disguise. It's a long story, but it was a blessing in disguise because I was like, it was before I started doing improv. And I said, well, I am getting minimum wage, but I can pay my bills, and I keep taking other people's shifts. And then they would be like, don't come in tomorrow, Nicole, you're going into overtime. And guess what? I would go in tomorrow and get my overtime. But I was like, I'm going to be a manager of Lane Bryant. And not shitting on anyone who's a manager of Lane Bryant, but I was not destined for that. That was not what I was supposed to do. But I had become a little complacent. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I can do. I'm really good at counting out a register.
It's so funny how you end up, and you're right. It isn't shitting on anybody that does that but it's where you see yourself or your goals. Like my bar at one point in my life, if only I could get that rap and roll thing, then that would be. And then you end up going, well, if only I can be the manager, Lane Bryant.
Yes.
And then once you pull out a little bit,
and you're like, well, maybe I could do something else.
And then the next thing you're doing things that you didn't even dream for yourself, which I love that. That's the part I love. It makes you continue to dream.
Yeah. And when I got fired from Lane Bryant, I had to pay off my Lane Bryant credit card. I know I've told this story, but I paid it off and I wrote Lame Giant in who the payee was to.
Lame
and then they sent it back and so then I sent it back and then they wrote a letter saying that's not funny.
How petty. You've already fired you.
Yeah. Just take your check that says Lame Giant. But maybe the bank was like, we can't take this. We can't take this very funny bit.
That makes me laugh so hard that even the bank, you knew who they were talking about. Just take the damn money. And you had to pay off a Lane Bryant credit card. You mean you bought stuff in the store?
Working retail is a scam for the employees because they tell you we want you to wear the clothing
But you have to buy
at
the clothes.
store, and they'll give you a discount. But I was getting paid $7.50. None of my checks were ever going to clear for those clothes and my rent and my food and shit. So then I opened up a Lane Bryant credit card with the 22% APR that I was never going to fucking pay off with my minimum wage. It's a scam.
That is a scam. See, that's what Kanye was talking about when he said that he worked at the Gap. That's what he was talking about.
It is. It's a scam.
Well, you've done good. You've done good for yourself.
You've
ma'am.
done good too. And we've come to the end. Do you have any advice for single people?
The advice that I could give right now is I'm going to rip off and paraphrase RuPaul because it's the truth. Going on these apps, trying to find somebody, finding solace in somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell you going to love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And I'm going to give you advice, Wayne. I think you need to be more upfront in your dating. I think second date in, they should know that you need your alone time. Second date in, they should know that you are an introvert. Second date in, they should know that like you're looking for love because you're such a marvelous, wonderful person. And I think if you want a partner, you deserve a partner. But also, if you want to take some time for yourself, you also deserve that too. You work so hard.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Also, Wayne, I ask all of my guests this. Would you date me?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The reason I ask is because I need validation.
And you have it. Ta-da.
Well, if you like this episode of Why Won't You Date Me, you can like it, you can rate it, subscribe, you can give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and if you write me a dirty message to Why Won't You Date Me podcast@gmail.com, a nasty message hitting on me, I will read it. Dear Nicole, it's always bothered me that all these imaginary guys in your intros constantly gaslighting you that their cum is something it isn't. All of my intros are a man lying to me about what cum is.
That's why you did. I love that person. That's the fact that, that's brilliant.
So the first thing I'm going to do is get you a lie detector to use on them. You'll never have to worry about something being cum again. After that's settled, I'm going to go right to Mr. Marvel himself and convince him to cast you as Storm in the next Avengers movie. You'll be so iconic that they'll contact the director of the Sonic movies to do Marvel's first crossover. Storm, Sonic, and friends are going to go so fast and beating bad guys together, saving Vin Diesel from Eggman and Thanos. Now Vin Diesel's in here.
Why is Vin?
I don't know. Nothing about Fast and the Furious. To thank you, Vin Diesel and you as Storm have electrifying sex. See what I did here? Okay. All night long. Next day, Vin makes you a delicious breakfast before Sonic comes to pick you up. You and the Sonic crew zoom into the horizon as the credits roll. You realize that even though you're all so fast, you have each other in the end. I hope this was a treat to read. It was. All of my favorite things were in here. I love Storm. I love Sonic. And I love Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel was a bonus. I didn't see him coming.
It really was. People constantly are like, Nicole, I thought Vin Diesel died because I'll put his Instagram in my stories and I won't write anything. It'll just be a picture of Vin Diesel.
Have you had Vin Diesel as a guest?
No, I would. Oh my God. I'm holding my hair in a weird way.
We have to make that happen.
Excited.
Head gum.
Head gum.
Head gum.
Mr. Gum, please. Well, that's it. Bye-bye.
Do you want to ask Wayne what he'd like to promote?
Oh, shit. It's as if I never do this podcast. I always forget something. I've been doing this for 5 years.
6.
Oh, shit. You didn't have to do that.
And very
Mari.
successfully. I mean, you are the recipient of a silver winner award of the Signals, which I didn't know. That's pretty
not
damn
me.
cool.
That's not me.
Oh, that's not. Wait,
That's not me. No, that's not me.
No, but your name's on it.
Is it?
Yeah. Co-host team, pop culture, newcomers.
Oh, that's for newcomers. Me and Lauren Lapkus.
Yeah.
Where we watch movies that everyone has seen, but we have not. Did you know Star Wars is a lot?
It is a lot of what?
It's a lot. A lot is happening. Each set of movies is a different genre of movie. The first 3, the middle 3 are indies, and then the first 3, the second 3, they're very 2000s, and then the back end is very now. And I'm like, how this is a very convoluted movie viewing experience.
I'm a nerd, a dyed-in-the-wool nerd, and I have never watched a full Star Wars movie.
No?
I know all the lore, but I've tried. I've watched one.
Which one?
Not the first 3, the first one of the. So what? There are like 9 movies now or something. So the fourth one. So the second trilogy. Not anything with John Boyega. I'm talking about the second one, like the second batch.
Oh, with Natalie Portman.
Yes, and
that man who wears a rides a scooter, the Death Mall.
So like when we thought that was gonna be, it's like, oh shit, this is gonna be. I sat through that. My buddy Dean, we woke up. We were at the movie theater at 7 a.m. because it was this whole thing. You're not getting tickets. I was so mad. I sat through almost 3 hours of this bullshit. I was like, is this your Star Wars?
Is this your king?
Is this your king? Keep him.
Boo! I did like Darth Maul. He rides a scooter, and I find that very funny. And
Darth Maul is dope.
I like, hello.
Jar Jar.
Yes. I looked at Mars. I was like, who is it?
That's actually one of the only characters I like, and he was the most maligned.
People hated Jar Jar Binks.
And you know the actor?
Yes. Ahmed
Best,
yes.
What an amazing and talented dude.
Such a good character,
an incredible
physical actor.
Musician and dancer. And his wife, she danced in my Vegas show. And she's an amazing dancer and singer. He got the wrong end of the stick. He culturally got the wrong end of the stick. He was directed a certain way. And I could go into a whole thing. Justice for Ahmed Best. Justice for Jar Jar.
Justice for Jessie Spano. I just watched Showgirls for the first time. She did what the director wanted, which was an unhinged performance that is perfect.
Yeah, people get there were that's a series that we should do. Go through movies that are maligned and performances and show how now in the bright light of day they were actually good.
Yeah, A Hill I'll Die On, Madam Web, fun movie.
I haven't seen that yet.
Listen. I would not recommend watching it alone. I would recommend literally spending money, renting out a movie theater, and getting 50 people together and tell them it's like Rocky Horror, yell at the screen, have a nice time. I was in a theater where at one point the villain was speaking and his mouth was not moving, and I just yelled, they didn't finish the movie. And then everyone was like, we're in good company, because then everyone, like, we laughed. There is this one pivotal scene that's supposed to be like just action-packed, and we all laughed so hard.
Now I have to see it.
I really think once they saw that cut, they should have been like, we should market this as camp. This is campy. We're bringing camp back. And I
Maybe
think
that would have saved it.
I think so, because I had a great time. Joker 2, another hill I'll die on. I love Joker 2. Craven, a movie no one's heard of.
Oh, Craven, I want to watch Craven because I love him. Because I think he's so talented.
He's great in it. I loved Craven. Aaron Taylor-Joy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm a fan.
He was great in Kick-Ass and everything else he's done.
Never seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like once you're finished with your 5 other podcasts,
I'll start another one.
We will do another one.
Thank you for being here, Wayne.
Thank you.
Do you want to ask what he'd like to promote?
Oh yeah, that's
God.
Right. Oh yeah, we got off.
You have to leave all that in. Wayne, is there anything? I can't wait. You said that, and then how did we go on such a tangent? Wayne, do you have anything you want to promote?
Yes, I will promote right here on HeadGum. You got to check out What If. It's an improvised podcast where it truly is about anything. We get a guest, someone like yourself, who I happen to be a fan of, and then we bring them on and we talk about whatever. We talk about their life, we talk about their career, anything that's going on in the world, and then we put the little improvisational twist on it of what if, and we make up songs, we have live music, we never know where a conversation is going to go. It's myself and my partner, Jonathan Mangum, who you can catch me with on the upcoming season of Let's Make a Deal, the upcoming season of Whose Line Is It Anyway, and you can catch me on the road doing my musical improv show with him called Making Shit Up. And I've got a bunch of other stuff, but that's good for right now. Check out the podcast right here on HeadGum and on Apple and anywhere else where podcasts are. Yeah. And we don't have a YouTube page right now, but by the time you watch this, we will have the YouTube page up as well.
Hell yeah. Thank you for being here, Wayne.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.